The Super Bowl has been around for 54 years, so what I'm going to do today is I'm going to give you the top 5 most dominant MVP performances in the Super Bowl era. So pretty much, I'm going to go ahead and just break it down for you, starting from number 5 all the way to number 1, and I'm going to go ahead and just tell you which performers were the most dominant that we've ever seen in the 54-year history of the Super Bowl. Obviously, my list may not be the right one. I still want to hear yours, and let's have a good friendly discussion in the comment section down below, and maybe give me your list, give me your top 5, or if you feel like I forgot somebody, go ahead and drop that name in the comment section down below. Let's have a good friendly discussion. So let's get started. Coming at number 5, I have Phil Simms' performance in Super Bowl 21. Now, going into this game, the Giants had not won a Super Bowl championship, and they're going up against such a dominant Denver Broncos team. John Elway was such a hot prospect and such a phenomenal player, and very not just hyped, but, hyped because of the fact that he was so truly dominant. Obviously, people, dubbed him the comeback king, but this game was truly all about Phil Simms. In this game, Phil Simms was 22 out of 25, completed 88% of his passes for 268 passing yards with 3 touchdowns. The Giants, for the most part, ended up just dominating that game and winning 39-20 against the Denver Broncos, which were favored going into this game. And not only did they just beat them by more than two possessions, but it gave the New York Giants the first out of their 4 Super Bowl championships. Coming in number 4, I have Doug Williams' performance in Super Bowl 22. Now, Doug Williams, going into this game, was coached by Joe Gibbs, and he was with now what is known as the Washington Football Team. The Washington Football Team went ahead and actually played the Denver Broncos. Again, this was John Elway's second crack at a Super Bowl championship. Unfortunately for Elway, it didn't go as planned for himself. What ended up happening was Doug Williams went out and had just another dominant performance by himself, completed 18 of 29 passes for 340 yards, 4 touchdowns, and an interception. Now, the most interesting part to me about this and why this Super Bowl is so memorable, it has a couple of reasons. One, the Washington Football Team was actually down 10-0. What happened after that was a complete eruption. The Washington Football Team ended up scoring 42 consecutive points, including what is now and still is a Super Bowl record, 35 points in a single quarter. That came in the second quarter, and Doug Williams made history by becoming the first African-American quarterback to ever win a Super Bowl championship. That's why this game holds a special place in a lot of people's hearts and is one of the most memorable and dominant performances that we had ever seen. Coming at number 3, I have Joe Montana's performance in Super Bowl 24 against the Denver Broncos. Unfortunately for the Broncos and John Elway, they keep finding themselves on the wrong side of this list. So unfortunately for them, after getting a lot of media attention going into this game, this game makes headlines for all the reasons that John Elway wouldn't want it to. This game went down in Super Bowl history as the most lopsided game that the Super Bowl had ever had. Joe Montana is one of the main reasons why this happened. Montana was 22 of 29 for 297 yards and threw what was at the time, his 5 touchdown passes. It's the most lopsided game in Super Bowl history with a score of 55-10. Joe Montana was on another level and is one of the biggest reasons why the San Francisco 49ers were able to just completely dismantle the Denver Broncos and really just crush John Elway in this matchup. It was one of the worst games he'd ever had in his career, and Joe Montana, you pretty much established himself as one of the greatest quarterbacks of all time. Coming in at number 2, I have Steve Young and his performance in Super Bowl 29. Now, this game and this performance for Steve Young was, in my opinion, legendary just because of the fact that it accomplished different things. First of all, it gave the San Francisco 49ers their 5th Super Bowl championship. And for Steve Young, it was such a massive accomplishment because of the fact that not only was he 29 of 36 for 325 passing yards and 6 touchdown passes, but he broke Joe Montana's previous record of 5 with that. And it was a huge game because of the fact that not only did the 49ers win this game 49-26 against the Chargers, but it was the game where Steve Young finally stepped out of Joe Montana's shadow and established himself as a true legend, Hall of Fame quarterback. It was something that Steve had already battled a lot because, it's hard to replace what many believe, or who many believe, is one of the greatest quarterbacks of all time. So it was a very huge step up. Steve Young was able to get that monkey off his back and was able to deliver the 49ers their 5th Super Bowl championship. But coming in at number 1, it's a must. Tom Brady's performance in Super Bowl 51. Not only was Tom Brady 43 of 62 for 466 yards, and not only did he win his 6th Super Bowl championship, but this game can be pretty much summed up in one word: comeback. Pretty much, the New England Patriots were playing horrible ball, and they were down 21-0 at a certain point after Tom Brady threw a pick 6 in the second quarter, 21-3 at halftime, and 28-3 middle of the third quarter. Many New England Patriots fans, and mostly everybody, didn't believe the Patriots could come back. Anyone tells you that they believed and they knew they could come back, they're lying to you. 28-3 was such a huge, gap, and a lot of people were just enjoying it. A lot of Patriot haters were. But what Tom Brady did was the greatest comeback in Super Bowl history. Tom Brady came back down 28-3, needed 2 touchdown drives with 2 two-point conversions just to tie the game. And after that, when they got the ball back in overtime, they were able to go down the field and get another clutch touchdown to pretty much seal the deal. The New England Patriots, after being down 28-3, went on to score 31 consecutive points against the Atlanta Falcons and pretty much completed, again, the greatest comeback drive in Super Bowl history. This game pretty much cemented Brady's legacy, and it was a very dominant performance, pretty much from the second half on. After that, it may not be such a dominant performance the entire game, but how could you really go past this game and not call it number 1? It's an amazing comeback. Him as a leader showed everyone why he's the greatest of all time. So that's my list. Thanks for listening. If you enjoyed this video, feel free to leave it a like. And if you enjoy content like this, feel free to subscribe. I'll catch you later, guys. Goodbye.